Hi everybody, it's Alisa Murray here with my Martini Talks, and today I'm hanging out with my girlfriends and part of my AMP team. This is Heather and this is Dianna, and without the three of us, your photography would not be the same. So girls, I wanted to talk to you guys this afternoon about being entrepreneurs and being artists and what we're doing and how we're balancing all of that and what's going on with you guys. I know that you just started a new business and I wanted to talk about that first. Check out my cup. I'll tell you one thing. There's two things about me. I've got my signature trademarked, and if you think about me, you need to either think about Louis Vuitton or you need to think about leopard print. And so Heather made this most gorgeous, totally appropriate tumbler for me and put my signature on it, and I just love it. And if you would like to get some of those for yourself, you can look in the comments below and I'll give you a link to her website so that you can order some stuff as well. But now that I've gotten that taken care of and explained all these gorgeous cups, explain the one that you've got.
So this is one of the Geodes that's got a multitude of different glitters for when you can't pick just one. And then we just went with a double decal on the front.
And then Diana's got...
She's got our Texas Strong, and we can put anything over the state of Texas that you'd like. And this one we put come hell, high water, or pandemic, given the circumstances.
Well, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're all in the middle of that. And I heard this morning from one of you girls that Fort Bend County is getting ready to shut back down again. And I don't want to spend this whole episode talking about that ding-dang pandemic because we keep talking about that, but that's what's affecting the whole wide world. But since we started talking about it, let's just talk for a little bit about it. What's been going on with you guys? What have y'all been able to wrangle around and do? Because we can't do a whole lot right now.
That's right. For example, myself, my name's Dianna, and I have my own business as well, and it's called Sebs Studio. At the moment, right now, I'm a licensed cosmetologist and a makeup artist, part of Miss Alisa Murray's team here, and I've been taking my regular clients actually. So not taking any new clients, basically taking my regular clients, making sure we take the precautions, wearing masks, sanitizing, and getting the haircuts or makeup services. However, this whole pandemic has definitely, changed our lives, but it's a good opportunity for us to actually work on new projects. Mm-hmm. So something new that I've been working on is actually, since everybody's staying at home, I'm definitely working on helping others actually create a healthcare routine and suggesting, any type of beauty products.
Well, and I saw that this morning. And again, I'll give you guys links to how to get a hold of these girls because you all know how to get a hold of me. But you posted an exercise routine and then did the exercise routine, girlfriend. I saw you pushing up and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't do exercise. I don't like to sweat. For those of you that don't know that, you now know that. But you have got it going on, sister. I like that.
Yes, thank you so much. Actually, I started my journey and I was at 200 pounds and I'm down pretty much about 60. I have basically to tone, but I started creating, trying different workouts and everything. So now I'm helping it by inspiring others, to do their workouts at home, inspiring others while they're staying home during the whole COVID situation. So yes.
Heather, you've been knocking out cups.
Yeah.
She's got spinners. It's like, those skewers that you put the lambs or the big old pit hogs, I guess we call it in Houston. Those big old hogs. We spin those hogs and we barbecue that good old barbecue stuff. I'm from North Carolina, so we do it that way in North Carolina too. But you've got spinners going at all times with these cups, and you get cup orders in all the time. And that business is taking off because you've been so busy with that this summer.
Really have. So we ended up moving to having 18 turners spinning in the garage at all times. We're expanding into everything from coasters to keychains to dabbling in some kind of geek wear t-shirts and that sort of thing.
You got the boutique going on.
Yes.
There's a boutique that she's in that you can go and touch and feel them if you don't want to just look online and order them.
Absolutely. Over at Simply Divine Massage out in Richmond off 359. We do have a vendor space out at the boutique. Go get yourself an amazing massage and have some really amazing time shopping in the boutique. There's about 9 of us out there that all have little shops for pretty much anything you could want, from bath bombs to clothing and obviously cups and stuff. You can go pick them up right off the rack and not have to wait.
That's cool. That's definitely cool. Well, I don't know if we'll be shopping that much, though, in the real world of shopping. Girls, I have a question for y'all. How much crap have y'all ordered on Amazon during this pandemic? Have y'all found that there's been a whole lot of extra things that have just sort of made its way to your shopping cart? Maybe you were doing a little extra drinking. We are in daytime. We are not drinking martinis today.
Definite daytime
because
mode.
we are not in daytime. We are not daytime drinkers. We're definitely nighttime drinkers. And for me, I'm an every night drinker. But I'm not going to be day drinking because that could turn out to be a huge disaster.
That's
I would not have Uncle Brian's dinner ready by 6 by any stretch of the imagination if I started drinking vodka at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But nor would I be a good example for my people. But anyway, no, like, what have y'all ordered? Like, I have been online, and it's funny because my Instagram feed and my Facebook feed, they know what you look at.
Right,
I mean, y'all know it's kind of like the spy that you don't talk about.
Yes.
And somebody's been watching my YouTube channel, and they are now filling my feed with the most amazing dishes and spatulas and cool stuff for the kitchen. And I found this yesterday. Y'all will not believe it. I mean, I did not even finish my coffee. I went to their website and bought it, and I got done and I thought, they just got $200 from me because they were smart enough to be scrolling around in my newsfeed. But these cups were like, and plates to plate the food for the Sweet Life Kitchen had like giraffes and flamingos and elephants. And it's just lovely. I mean, it's so beautiful. And so I can't wait to show you when they get here. And the other plate I got, different company altogether, is a funky plate. It has a spot down in the bottom, and then it flips up like this and has like a little spot in here. And it's almost made for like, it looks like from a restaurant.
Okay.
And you put French fries up here and your hamburger down here. Or you can put onion rings over here and your mustard up there.
Dipping sauce.
It's just gorgeous. They're on back order, but I can't wait till they get here. And then I'll be, of course, photographing them and Instagramming them and whatever with the Facebook. But have y'all bought anything that was just sort of not your norm?
Well, have you, Heather? Because I'm trying to actually remember. Well, what I usually tend to buy is beauty products, hair care products, makeup. But other than that, I hopped in the trend of making a TikTok video. So any type of like DIYs and things like that, my carts are in Amazon and other stores. Like, my carts are full, but I'm like, do I really need this? I have to
you are
question
so
myself.
smart.
Yes. I have to
Sister.
question myself, like, before I actually make the order.
Sister, that's smart. That's what we all, listen, that's a good tip. That's a nugget. I always ask you if you found a nugget. That's a nugget. Do not order the stuff in your cart. Just put it in your cart.
Put it in the cart.
Right.
And then maybe sleep on it for a day or 2 or 3. Don't ask your husband because you don't want him to know what's going on. But at least think about it first before you push go.
Yeah.
Definitely don't do it with martinis either, because that's a real big mess. One time, girls, y'all, off topic. Well, not really, but one time, many years ago, I think it was 2007 maybe, I was up late hanging out on my computer and I bought a trip to Paris. And when Brian Murray woke up the next morning, I said, darling, we're going to Paris. And he said, Texas? And I said, no, France. I've always wanted to go, and I bought us a trip. And he was like, what did you do? And I said, we're going to Paris. And that's what happens when you don't.
Brian.
You need to stick it in the cart and think about it first.
I should. Now, for that, I really want to do that for next year. I don't know. Well, after this whole COVID situation passes by, of course, maybe, trying to book a flight, but a solo trip. I haven't,
Well,
done a
I'll
solo
definitely
trip,
do it for you because I need to do all the transfers. For those of you that don't know, I also am a travel agent and have a travel agency. But that's not a plug for today at all. But when the time comes for you to go do anything, I need to make sure that you're safe.
We'll click on the go.
Yeah.
When the time is right.
So have you bought anything crazy?
Tons and tons of stuff to do different designs for cups, really. It's been expanding into things like looking at carbon fiber looks and different things to add to the shop that I'm trying to design out and create. I guess I kind of missed the whole shopping bug because we ended up over the last several months we ended up remodeling a lot at the house.
Yeah.
And so everything was kind of going towards that. And so it felt like retail therapy.
Shopping, yeah.
But really it was like revamping the house and getting some things done, and we were able to completely redo the shop for the cups. Like that was a real big deal. It was, we got all the things to build that out, and that was fantastic, because in that way we're ready for some of the
What will
specials that we've
be,
got
not only
coming.
that too, but you're going to have a big influx. Hopefully all of us will here at the studio for the fall with photos, but people are going to want to give these as gifts. They're going to want to get gussied up and get makeup and hair done, and do all those things. You know, I guess it sounds like to me then really all three of us, we bought stuff on Amazon or wherever, but we really bought stuff for our businesses.
Right.
Because, you know, all the stuff that I got had to do with like photography of the food or stuff for the garden or whatever, you know. Brian teases me. He said, you know, you can go to that farmer's market and buy yourself some zucchinis and some squashes and some carrots and not have to spend all that time in the sunshine and all of that money on the snail baits and the this, that, and the others and all the stuff it takes to do a garden. But that garden has saved my life. It's really kept me sane. You know, it's given me a little project every day to just get up and go do, because we're creative.
Right.
And when we can't go do our usual creative, it makes us crazy.
It does. When you get cooped up to that point where you're not going out and you don't feel like you're living your best life anymore. It's those little projects like that. Like, in addition to, you know, yes, everything was largely entrepreneurial, but like we did stuff like take guitar lessons and, you know.
Oh, I did try that. You know, Uncle Brian's been playing guitar since we were 13, right?
Right.
And the guitar is a deal that it happens all day long here. James is playing the drums. And so I got the bright idea probably about a month into this junk that I was going to learn how to play guitar. And he brought the guitar down and he showed me a few strings or whatever they're called. Chords. And I learned 3 chords. And I played 3 chords for like maybe a week. And then I didn't touch it. It just sat in the bedroom for like probably a couple of or more weeks. And finally one day he came downstairs and he just picked up the guitar and he goes, I'm putting this back upstairs. And I was like, why? He goes, because you're just looking at it. You're not playing it. You're too busy doing your YouTubes or whatever you're trying to do with the kitchen, and you're not doing your guitar lessons. Like it was a bad thing that I had not taken it seriously. And I said, well, it's okay. I'm 50 years old, and I guess if I was going to learn how to be a guitar player, I probably would have picked that up before now. But I did try. Which you have to give me that much. But that is a very different type of skill set. I played trombone in high school. I was the first chair trombone, and then I played piano and was miserable with piano, but I played trombone. I love trombone, but you know, I just don't know how much I can handle all the intricacies of plus it's my fingernails, and y'all know I like my stuff to look like it's supposed to, and that guitar is for people who don't mind calluses and short fingernails, and that's not me.
Apropos.
It's funny. So getting ready for the fall, you've got all the stuff going on with the cups. You've got all the stuff going on at the shop. We've got all the stuff going on with the YouTube and the studio. We are going to be debuting some mini sessions outside. We are not doing any more presentations. I've decided that needs to just be done because the children don't need to come back and forth and do Thomas the Train tables and touch the tables and touch all the toys. And they're going to be very unhappy to hear that. But I think that the safest thing to do for now is to just shoot it and go, or shoot it outside even. Right. And so I'm going to be putting together some minis that you guys will see in the next couple of weeks for that. But, you know, I've got high hopes that for next year, 2021 is going to be just amazing for all of us.
Once they let up the a lot of the restrictions and people, there's a little bit less of that concern over what's going on, what's going to happen. I can't help but think that people are not necessarily going to go flooding back into places, but that you're going to start to see that return to a sense of not necessarily the normal we had before, but a normalcy that's a better normalcy. And I think that that's when we're going to start seeing a lot of people thrive, is once people have figured it out and what we need to do, then it's entirely possible to thrive and do the things that we're doing safely. So, you know, getting your hair and makeup done, there's no reason to be afraid of that. If you're doing so in a safe manner, there's absolutely no reason you shouldn't be able to go out and do that. coming and getting your portraits taken with all the precautions that we take here. There's no reason to be concerned about that because of the things that are put in place. When you go to these quality places and you go to places that know what they're doing, it is safe, and you can venture out and go do those things.
Did you see, I about rolled my eye. Well, I did roll my eyes. I just thought my mom and daddy would be rolling in their grave. I drove through the barbecue place down the street in Manville, and they have, if you girls can believe it, pick it up through the drive-through, gallon jars or jugs or whatever of margaritas through the drive-through. And I thought to myself, now, hello, Dolly, what are we doing now, girls? I don't know if our governor, maybe he did. Maybe he said it was fine to do that.
He did say to-go alcohol was acceptable.
I don't think that's going to happen in North Carolina, unfortunately, for my friends and family that are still there. But in Texas, hee-haw, we are picking it up, margaritas in the drive-thru.
Geodes to go.
It's crazy.
It really is.
I
hope everybody behaves. If they'll behave with it, maybe that's something we can keep.
Well, that would be a nice little extra special gift that he could give us.
Right.
I mean, it's so easy to just go by and get your barbecue and then, but I just wondered,
right there.
I was like, okay, do we have a way of making sure that people don't pop that top in the car? Because that's the problem that I saw with it was just that. I mean, like, I don't care if you drink your margaritas, but having it in the car is open carry. And that's just doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Doesn't feel right to me at all.
I went to a restaurant the other day, and basically it's empty. Even at the you could expect at the bar area where people socialize, but even out to eat. I went to the Gringos, and there was no one there.
Wow.
And I was like, so I guess it's convenient and better for people to actually do the pick it up and go. Yes.
I know most of us stuff that we've done, if we've gotten food, it's been food to go. I can count on probably one hand the number of restaurants I've actually sat in.
Mm-hmm.
We did go to Chewy's in Sugar Land.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the Lopez Mexican restaurant. I hadn't been to the new one. We went to the one that's attached to Gallery Furniture out in Richmond.
Oh, okay.
That one's wonderful. The service was great. But a lot of the stuff, if we do eat out, it's been pick it up to go, take it home.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've just had a lot of imperfect foods delivered. I mean, that's just been the most wonderful thing. Before the garden got going, you can get all that stuff delivered to the house, and they started doing meat, and they just released today that they're doing impossible meat. So for those of us that are getting ready to go on that bandwagon and try to get ourselves meat free, which is really where I'm trying to hinge everybody in my household towards, I'm going to try to do it slowly where they don't know it, but it's kind of hard because I got a lot of
I've tried that one.
I got a lot of people here, Uncle Brian and James Edward, that really like their beef.
Yes.
So it's a situation,
It is.
and I don't know how much I'm going to like the idea of putting color in stuff to make it look like and taste like it. I wish they hadn't told me that. I was watching something on the television said about it, and they were like trying to describe how they made it, like fake blood or something, and I thought, whoa, that sounds disgusting. It's the truth, though. It's the truth.
I know.
But let's just not talk about it because that just sounds so nasty.
Kind of like hot dogs. You don't ever want to eat them after you know what's in them.
Yeah.
Just don't tell me, please.
Yeah. It's just not good. Not good. Well, school's starting back in about, 2 weeks for you?
August 12th.
Okay.
August 12th is when things go back.
Now, here's the thing. Fort Bend County ain't. Fort Bend County is online only.
Fort Bend ISD has announced that they're going to be doing online only, at least initially, until we can get staff and everybody back into these schools and make sure that the safety protocols are in place.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure that everybody's going to be safe returning. I'm really happy to hear that Fort Bend made that decision.
I am too.
I've got 2 kids in the district, and so as a parent, it's for me. We were weighing: do we hold them out and do the online schooling, or do we let them go ahead and go back? And I have one child. Both of them are polar opposites. My introverted child is like, I want to do online, and the other one's like, please send me back. I want to go back
to be with my
now.
friends.
I need to be with my friends. And so it was a really difficult decision, and we had started leaning the direction of we were going to do the online. And then they came out with the announcement that everyone would be at least online for at least temporarily while we get everybody back into the building and go, okay, now how are we going to do this? Because it's not practical to think that you're going to be able to come up with a plan.
Well, we have never,
when you've never
ever done this before. Like, it's just a lot.
So I was happy to hear the decision. I know it's really hard, but
well, I mean, you know the situation that we're in. I mean, James Edward's been at the Christian Academy since third grade, and it's part homeschool anyway. So we're in that mode. We're used to that mode.
Right.
It's really was not a bad transition, leaving from spring break, not going back till the end of the year at all. SATs haven't happened yet. Don't know if they're gonna. And he's already made the decision. It's his senior year. He's already made the decision that he's going to do online college. He's not interested until all this settles out. And he's 17.
Yeah.
So there's, and you know, he's social, and he's got his group that he plays video games and stuff with, that he's always done that. But he is very thoughtful about what he could bring into the house to us.
Right.
And he just does not want to take that risk. And I just really think that that's cool that he's old enough to understand what's going on and the risk that brings. And I see all these kids piling in together on rafts and floats and floating down the river in San Antonio, or going to the water slides, or God forbid, whatever they're doing, and just total disregard for what they're doing. And then 14 days pop, and you see it on the news again, and I'm like, yep. That's what's so tough about it all. It's just you can't see it. If you could see it, you know, like if you had somebody coming up to your house with a gun, well, if you're coming up to anybody's house with a gun in the state of Texas, you better be prepared to die, because everybody in the state of Texas is some serious women and men about packing their heat. We protect everything we've got, but you would know there's something wrong, right? My point is, you know, oh my God, alarms are off, something's wrong, got to do this, got to do that. The fact this little sucker is like some sneaky stuff. It's just not, you don't even know. Like, you could just be at the grocery store and pick up an apple someone sneezed on, and it's on your hand. It's so simple as that. Like, it's so simple as just that. And that is what is just so mind-boggling, because it's like, I tell you, if you really thought about it, you'd have to like take Clorox wipes with you everywhere you went, and basically everything you touched. And we do the best we can, but it's just, I think all of us are going to end up getting some form of it, and then we'll build up a herd immunity to it, and then that'll be the end of it, because it's just one of those things where I don't think it's unavoidable at this point. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many other states, not Texas, but other states are thinking, oh, let everybody go back to school. Don't worry about it. Everybody needs to be back in school, because they're just thinking we're going to all get it anyway, so we might as well just get it over with and go ahead and have it happen. I don't know. You've been talking to the teachers, though. How do they feel? Have any of them expressed any concerns? Or
from, like, the online chats that I've seen from I was able to watch one of the town hall style meetings that the district had done, and watched Dr. Dupree, our superintendent, talking to everyone. The primary concern is it's the uncertainty. Yeah. And that's what everybody's kind of voicing, is it's the yes, but what are we thinking? What are we doing? But if this happens, then what? Mm-hmm. And wanting to make sure that reporting to work is not going to mean jeopardizing your health and your family's health. And so it's a lot of what the first responders have been already going through. Yeah. With my dad being a cop, it's something that we were already exposed to because of the fact that he works in an airport. Mm-hmm. So there's some things that are just unavoidable. Mm-hmm. And like, kind of like you were talking about with the concept of the herd immunity, that sort of thing. It's a lot of trying to make sure that we don't inundate the system with the medical center to the point where we can't recover from it, and we don't have, like Italy had, where you just don't have the capacity to handle it anymore. Mm-hmm. You're trying to prevent that. Mm-hmm. Yes, at some point everybody's going to be exposed to it, and that's how we build up immunities to things like the flu and strep and all the other things that are out there. Right. And it's a lot of things that we've just become kind of complacent in our security of thinking, oh, it's inevitable, it's flu season, we're just going to get the flu. And so when we start thinking about it in terms like that, yes, COVID's far worse because nobody has antibodies to it. And so when you start thinking about it as this is something that, these are changes that needed to be taking place anyway. Mm-hmm. it makes things a little bit easier to kind of take some of the fear out of it and make it more precaution, less fear.
Right.
And so that's where I see a lot of it, is that the district is attempting to do that.
Yeah.
In the sense that they want to make sure that we're not just throwing 79,000 students
I know. Fort Bend
back
County, guys.
into all those schools.
Fort Bend County is a lot of children.
You have to have a game plan. You have to have a game plan. And the safest way to do that is to phase this in bits. Not just, okay, well, first day of school, off you go. And it doesn't work like that.
No.
And so I was happy to see that they are taking every precaution necessary to try to prevent. It's not just making sure that you're safe, but it's trying to prevent an outbreak, because if it goes into a school, how quickly that can spread and get out of hand. And then you're talking about, okay, so do we have to shut things down for 2 weeks at that campus? Or is it going to have to be district wide? Is it an entire city? Is it just one school? Because if you've got people at the high school, think about the middle school and elementary school. Do they have siblings that are in those schools?
Yeah.
So it can very easily get out of hand. So it's learning to figure out what needs to happen in order to make
It's just
this
laying in all the
successful.
protocol.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an unprecedented situation. We've never had this happen before. So it's going to have an unprecedented response. And, we're going to get through it. And on the back end of it, it's
It'll
going to
be
be
fun.
so much better.
It'll be fun.
It'll be better. I honestly think that we're going to end up seeing that flu season isn't going to be as bad anymore.
I agree.
Because we've started learning how to better take care of ourselves and the things to look for. We've all gotten so used to expecting the flu for the flu season, we gloss over all of the things that we're supposed to be doing to prevent it. It's almost like it's just inevitable, we're going to get it. So with us taking all these precautions, I told my mom the other day, I was like, I really think that this flu season is going to end up being a whole lot less because of so many protocols that are in place to prevent COVID, protect us from so many other things as well. And so it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out, because it's definitely going to be something as an eye-opener. I think once people realize that it is preventable, that's going to make a big difference. And
I don't like the idea of wearing a mask.
I mean, who does?
And having heart disease, I technically, could probably get away with not doing that. But if and when I do, which is very rare, go out, I wear a mask.
Right.
And I would hope that can be a small, short-term sacrifice for the long-term gain of not having to wear one for very long, because I am such a social person, and I'm used to bending down and hugging children, and I'm used to hugging and kissing people, and I'm used to seeing their beautiful smile, and I don't get any of that right now. And I definitely can't read you. I can't read your eyes. I can't see through your mask.
Right.
So that for me has been it's like I feel like I'm living in a movie. I feel like I'm living in an actual movie set. That's what the whole thing feels like. It's like we're in this, not Groundhog Day, because every day here is different. So I'm not picking up every morning and doing the same. I am technically doing the same things, gardening, cooking, whatever all of us are doing. But I don't have the feeling when I'm out that anything is normal. It's like you said, you go to the restaurant, it's empty. You go anywhere, you have to wear a mask. You don't know if you've touched the apple that some kid stuck their finger up their nose and then plopped their finger on, and like you just don't know what, right? You don't know what is what. And I'm ready for things to be figured out, because and y'all know me, I'm not a gray person.
Right.
I'm a black and white. I have a very definitive opinion about pretty much everything. What's right and what's wrong, and what's good and what's bad, and this is not right, and it doesn't feel right, and I'm ready for it to be over, And what is it you did? I wanted to talk about this too while we're doing our talk. What is that thing that you had me take, the personality test?
Oh, the Enneagram test. Those are so much fun.
Yeah. So, guys, there's this test that Heather had me take, and I don't even know all the ins and outs of it. James Everett has had me take a different test, and I am the extrovert of whatever he is, the introvert. But we are the exact same person. It's just my son is the introverted version of me. And then I've taken the DISC, and my degree is in psychology. Y'all know that too. And so I've taken a lot of personality tests over the years. But it seems like when I was in my 20s and 30s, things were a little bit more in the gray.
Right.
And now that I'm 50, things have bowed way to, it is a definitive D, high D. There's nothing really left of anything else. There is an I floating around occasionally that will smile at you, but I'm all D about what I want to see happen in the universe. And the one that you had me take, what is it that I am and what is it that you are?
So
we need to get Dianna to do it too.
We need to definitely have you do that. So the Enneagram is a personality test in the sense that it's looking for your internal motivators. And so it's kind of what drives you and the way that you behave. And so it looks at your core things, both your competencies, but as well as your key motivators. What makes Alisa tick? What makes Dianna tick? What makes Heather happy? What is the reasoning behind why you do what you do? So if I'm not mistaken, I think you were a 3, which is the one that is career oriented and very driven towards achievement. It's called the achiever, but it's driven towards achievement and success, and they're very business minded and that sort of thing. I know I'm a 2, which is the helper, and
which is so appropriate
to come in here and kind of be the associate and filling in the blanks. It's my motivators. It's helping. It's making sure that people have what they need. It's making sure that
I suspect that Dianna is also a 2.
It's possible, very much. So it's interesting because I had you do that. I've had several friends that did that, and it's interesting to see the pockets in life of, I know that when I'm going through this, I reach out to this person, or and you kind of gravitate toward a certain someone in your life. And it's funny to me because it'll depending on what that situation may be, it's funny because I'm gravitating towards the people that are a specific type.
Because they're filling that need.
Because they're fulfilling that need. And so it's just interesting because, you always sit there and it kind of answers the question of, God, why do I always do this? So when you're sitting here wondering, why do I do this? Or why am I going through this? A lot of it explains it. And they always talk about, your type doesn't define you. But it does help you to understand, okay, maybe I'm doing this behavior or responding in this way because of this internal motivator.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, and this is the reason why I brought this up for the Martini Talks, and I'm going to give you a link below to this in the comments, is because now is the time for everybody to figure out their stuff.
Right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Because if there was no other wake-up call,
right,
this should be a wake-up call that everyone should be living their sweet life, and they should be doing the goals and the things that are important to them.
Absolutely.
And there are personalities in this world that the good Lord gave us that are drivers, and there are personalities in this world that the good Lord gave us that are not. And if the world was filled with all drivers, the world would be at war.
We would.
And because there's only enough room for one driver in this house, and I know that. And I'm aware of that,
right.
and I've been made aware of that by others as well, but not in a bad way. But it's just real clear. But the thing is that's where I've been. I've grown into more of myself, really, through all of this stuff that we've been dealing with, in a different path than what I ever even thought I would do,
right.
because of that drive,
right.
and that need to have control when there is no way to have control. And so that's been the most significant thing that's changed for me anyway. And I'm actually better from having gone through it for me. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are hurting. There's a lot of people that don't know what's going on with their next meal. And I get it. And I'm completely compassionate, and my heartfelt sorrow for things that are not right in the world right now. And there's a lot of that. Right. But as far as the response and the way your personality responds to things, now is a good time to take the test, figure out where your path should be, figure out where your good fit is. You may find that you start, like all of us have started, a different path, but all still entrepreneurial.
Right.
And that you need to be able to be self-sufficient.
Right.
Whether it be through planting a garden, whether it be through starting a company, whether it be through starting a company that you can do from home, right. That you can then be able to teach your kids.
Right.
And all of those things. So it's just all about adapting.
Absolutely.
That's
a
really the
very big
key.
part.
It's a very big key. Well, ladies, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today and visiting. And I hope you guys that have been watching have gained some insights or been inspired. Maybe you caught that little nugget earlier on from Dianna about don't push go on the shopping cart. Hopefully you did pick that up. I don't know if you did or not. Sometimes I may do it and maybe I won't. Depends on, because I once I get all the stuff in the cart, I typically just say, okay, I got to just get this and move on to the next thing. But I love that idea.
No, and like you had mentioned, this is the actual time where it's a wake up call to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, okay, find your passion, find your purpose. And to me, this has been an absolutely wake up call. And the fact that, okay, if to many people out there, you know, who haven't saved or saved up, or, you know,
Right.
what is it? What's your passion? What's your purpose? So, like I said, this is actually the time where, yeah, it's like, okay, yes, you know, we all spend or enjoy, you know, spending and buy things like that. But actually, to be honest with you, if I had bought anything, you know, I put it in my cart, anything that I liked, and I question myself, hey, do I really need it in this time, you know?
Right.
And if it's something that I end up buying, it's actually something that it's gonna promote to where I'm going next, or to help with my projects, you know,
Right.
or anything that it's gonna be for me to actually buy in order to invest.
Right.
So
it's an investment in yourself.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you guys, I hope that you've enjoyed watching our Martini Talks this week. Heather and Dianna, I want to thank you guys for being here, and thank you for being a part of the team at Alisa Murray Photography. And we've got lots going on, guys, and we look forward to sharing those with you in the future. And don't forget to like and share, and don't forget to ring that bell so that each week you're notified and you know what's going on. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.